Summer heat is unbearable, but what if you could stay frosty without doubling your electricity bill? Stick around, because we're counting down the 7 best air coolers in the USA that might just save your summer. I've ranked them from number 7 all the way down to number 1 to help you make the most informed decision for your home. You'll definitely want to pay close attention to our number 1 pick, because its unbelievable cooling performance completely revolutionized the way I cool my home during peak summer heat waves. Seven. Arctic Air Pure Chill 2.0 Evaporative Air Cooler. When I first brought this little unit into my testing space, I was drawn to its highly marketed compact design and the promise of instant personal cooling. It is incredibly lightweight, meaning you can easily carry it from your kitchen counter to your nightstand without breaking a sweat, and it barely takes up any space on a crowded desk. The device operates using HydroChill technology, which essentially relies on a wet filter and a fan to drop the temperature of the air immediately around it. During my initial tests, I found that setting it up was simple enough. Just fill the top-fill water tank, plug it into the wall, and press the power button. The multi-directional air vents do allow you to point the breeze exactly where you need it, which is a mildly helpful touch for direct, close-up use. However, my experience quickly revealed some glaring limitations that you need to be aware of before spending your money. The biggest letdown by far is the sheer lack of power. This cooler is strictly for personal space, meaning if you're more than 2 feet away, you will barely feel a difference in the room temperature. I tried using it to cool down a small home office on a sunny afternoon, and it completely failed to make a dent in the ambient heat, leaving the room stuffy and uncomfortable. Another significant frustration I encountered during my week of testing this unit was the water tank capacity. The manufacturer claims it runs for hours, but I found myself constantly having to refill the surprisingly small reservoir, especially when trying to run it on the high F-band settings. If you forget to refill it, the device essentially just becomes a loud, underpowered desk fan blowing warm air directly in your face. 6. Evapolar evaCHILL Portable Air Conditioners. Unboxing this unit, I was immediately impressed by its sleek, minimalist aesthetic, which looks incredibly modern sitting on a desk or a bedside table. It has a very premium, high-tech feel to the touch, and the integrated handle makes it exceedingly easy to grab and take with you on camping trips or to your office workspace. One of the standout features of the evaCHILL is its use of Evapolar's patented EvaBreeze material inside the cooling cartridge. According to the company, this material is fully inorganic, which prevents bacteria and mold growth, a massive plus for anyone sensitive to allergens or worried about maintenance. When I tested it on my office desk, the air it produced was noticeably crisp, clean, and refreshing right out of the gate. It is powered via a standard USB Type-C connection, which I found incredibly convenient during my testing phase. I was able to run the evaCHILL completely off a portable power bank during a weekend camping trip, making it a highly versatile gadget for off-grid situations. The single-button control scheme is also intuitive, allowing you to cycle through fan speeds without needing to fuss with complicated menus or easily misplaced remote controls. Despite these neat innovations, the evaCHILL falls into the number 6 spot due to a few critical drawbacks that significantly hampered my testing experience. Much like a number 7 pick, the cooling radius is severely limited to your immediate personal bubble, making the air conditioner part of its name quite misleading for anyone hoping to chill a whole room. I also noticed that the water tank is incredibly prone to leaking if the unit is even slightly tilted or bumped, which is a disaster waiting to happen if it sits next to your expensive laptop. 5. DREO Evaporative Air Cooler. This is where we start seeing a significant jump in performance, moving away from desktop gadgets to actual, highly capable room cooling appliances. During my testing, the tall, tower-like design of the DREO immediately stood out, taking up very little floor space while delivering a substantial, wide-reaching breeze. It fits beautifully into the corner of a living room or bedroom without looking like a bulky piece of industrial machinery. What makes the DREO a fantastic mid-range option is its impressive cross-flow impeller wheel design. I found that this specific engineering choice allows the cooler to push massive volumes of air incredibly quietly. In fact, when I ran it in my bedroom overnight on the lowest setting, it was barely a whisper. Yet it kept the room completely comfortable and prevented me from waking up in a pool of sweat. The cooling process itself is highly efficient, utilizing a thick cooling pad and an included set of reusable ice boxes to maximize the chill. By dropping the frozen ice boxes right into the water tank, the air pushed out by the DREO dropped in temperature significantly. I tested this during a particularly nasty 85-degree afternoon, and the icy blast it delivered was a massive relief, effectively lowering the ambient temperature of my immediate seating area within a matter of minutes. Another feature I thoroughly enjoyed during my evaluation was the ultra-wide oscillation. Unlike the previous personal models that only shoot air in a single, narrow direction, the DREO sweeps a cool, refreshing breeze across the entire room. Paired with a highly responsive remote control, I didn't even have to get off the couch to adjust the fan speed, toggle the oscillation, or set the automatic shut-off timer, making it incredibly user-friendly. Maintenance on the DREO is also remarkably painless, which is a huge plus in my book. Four, Costway Evaporative Cooler Air Cooler. If you are looking for an affordable, highly versatile unit that gives you the absolute best bang for your buck, this is a phenomenal choice. When I unpacked the Costway, I was pleasantly surprised by its sturdy build and the inclusion of smooth rolling Costa wheels. These wheels made it a total breeze to glide the unit from my home office during the day to my bedroom at night without any heavy lifting whatsoever. One of the things I loved most during my hands-on testing was the sheer simplicity and effectiveness of its 3-in-1 design. It operates flawlessly as a regular fan, an air humidifier, and a dedicated evaporative cooler, all rolled into one compact machine. Living in a climate where the summer air can get uncomfortably dry, the humidifying aspect of this cooler worked wonders for my sinuses while simultaneously chilling the room to a comfortable degree. The Costway features a high-quality honeycomb cooling pad that absorbs water efficiently to maximize the entire evaporation process. I filled a generous water tank, popped in the 2 included ice packs, and cranked it up to the highest setting to see what it could do. The resulting airflow was incredibly crisp, easily capable of circulating chilled air across a standard-sized master bedroom and dropping the heat index by several degrees in my testing environment. I also have to praise the intuitive top-mounted control panel and the handy remote control that comes included with the unit. I frequently used the built-in timer function, setting it for an 8-hour run before I went to sleep, ensuring I stayed cool all night without wasting electricity the next morning. The variable wind modes, including a natural breeze setting that perfectly mimics the fluctuating winds outside, added a very relaxing, organic atmosphere to my living space. 3. Hessaire MC18M. Now we are finally getting into the heavy hitters of the cooling world. When I first laid hands on this Hessaire model, it was immediately clear that this machine was built for serious, uncompromising cooling. It has a slightly more rugged, utilitarian look compared to the sleek indoor towers, but what it lacks in modern aesthetic, it more than makes up for in raw, unadulterated power. This unit is a complete game changer if you love spending time outdoors or working in a stuffy garage during the dead of summer. I tested the MC18M on my back patio during a scorching weekend barbecue, and it was the undisputed star of the show. Pushing an impressive 1,300 cubic feet of air per minute, it created a massive, sweeping comfort zone that kept my guests completely cool and happy, despite the intense afternoon sun. The secret to the MC18M's incredible outdoor performance is its high-density rigid media pad, which provides vastly more surface area for water evaporation than standard foam pads. I found that this engineering choice results in a much deeper, more noticeable temperature drop. Even when dealing with high 90s heat, the air shooting out of the adjustable louvers felt surprisingly icy, completely transforming an unusable outdoor space into a relaxing oasis. I was also deeply impressed by the sheer convenience of its dual water fill options. You can manually fill the large, nearly 5-gallon tank for portable use, but my favorite feature by far was the continuous garden hose hookup. By simply attaching my standard outdoor hose to the built-in float valve, the cooler kept itself full automatically, meaning I didn't have to pause my weekend activities to babysit the water level. Despite its immense power and sturdy build, the Hessaire MC18M remains highly portable thanks to its heavy-duty wheels and strong top handle. 2. Honeywell TC30PEU. When it comes to cooling large indoor living spaces with absolute elegance and unmatched efficiency, this Honeywell unit is nearly impossible to beat. During my extended testing period, I completely fell in love with its gorgeous tall tower design that seamlessly blended into my living room decor while taking up minimal, precious floor space. Honeywell is a massively trusted brand in home comfort, and this cooler showcases exactly why they hold that reputation. The build quality is exceptional, featuring a robust, reliable motor and high-quality plastics that genuinely feel built to last a lifetime. What stood out to me immediately was the massive water tank capacity. With a reservoir that holds nearly 8 gallons, I was able to run this cooler for an entire hot weekend without ever having to worry about refilling it. The cooling performance inside the house was nothing short of spectacular. Utilizing 3 distinct wind speeds and automatic oscillating louvers, the Honeywell efficiently pushed a continuous, powerful wave of chilled, humidified air across my expansive open-concept living area. I tested it on a particularly hot, dry afternoon, and within 20 minutes, the stuffy, oppressive heat in the room was replaced by a deeply comfortable, refreshing chill. Another massive advantage of this specific Honeywell model is how surprisingly quiet it operates for its impressive size. Even when running on the maximum fan speed, the noise level remained an unintrusive, soothing hum that never overpowered my television or interrupted my conversations. The included remote control and top-mounted digital control panel are incredibly responsive, making it utterly effortless to customize the airflow to my exact preferences from across the room. Maintenance is often a frustrating nightmare with large-capacity coolers, but Honeywell has made it brilliant with an easy-access water-filled door and a simple low-water alarm that alerts you long before the pump runs dry. Hessaire MC37M. I cannot overstate how truly mind-blowing this machine is in person. If you want the absolute pinnacle of evaporative cooling technology for extreme heat, this is the undisputed king. When I fired up the MC37M for the first time, I was genuinely shocked by the sheer velocity and volume of cold air it produced. It literally felt like standing in front of a jet engine made of solid ice. This mammoth cooler pushes an astonishing 3,100 cubic feet of air per minute, making it highly capable of drastically cooling massive spaces up to nearly 1,000 square feet. I decided to put it to the ultimate test by running it in a massive, completely uninsulated 2-car garage during the peak heat of a brutal July afternoon. Within half an hour, the temperature plummeted so drastically that I actually had to turn the fan's speed down to stay comfortable. The MC37M achieves this by utilizing massive, high-density cooling pads on 3 separate sides of the unit. I found that pulling warm air through 3 wet walls rather than just one creates an unparalleled, highly rapid evaporation rate. The resulting blast of air isn't just a mild breeze. It is a profound, deep chill that immediately neutralizes the heat in large workshops, massive patios, or even small commercial warehouses. Just like its smaller sibling, this absolute beast features a highly convenient, continuous water supply hookup via a standard garden hose adapter. During my testing, this feature proved invaluable, as the 3-sided cooling pads consume water at a rapid pace due to their extreme cooling efficiency. Being able to hook up a hose and let the internal float valve automatically manage the massive 10-gallon water tank capacity meant I enjoyed uninterrupted, powerful cooling all day long without lifting a finger.